Hello and welcome to our program Violence Free World. My name is Kali Ikpe and we continue today on the road to a violence-free Nigeria. And we are privileged to have as guest on the show today the Executive Governor of Katsina State in Northwest Nigeria, His Excellency Aminu Masari. Excellency, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
All right, we're going to come back with the conversation shortly. We're here. Welcome back. Excellency, many people see Nigeria as being on the edge on the account of raging insecurity that has persisted for a considerable while now. Kaduna State, Zamfara State, and Katsina can be considered as being the epicenter of all of this violence. I don't know how challenging this has been to you as a governor of Katsina State.
Well, first of all, let me start by welcoming and appreciating what you are doing towards contributing to restore normalcy. I think it's very challenging in the sense that lives are lost, properties are destroyed, the cohesion that used to exist between communities, between neighbors, in those frontline villages and towns bordering the forest, all have disappeared. And also the meager resources coming to the state is being diverted in trying to restore normalcy and assist those who have become victims by way of stealing, some by way of injuries that we have to take care of the hospitals, and some by even looking after those who died, their immediate families. So it has been very challenging, but we thank God. As difficult as it is, we have been able to manage the situation and to a large extent bring it under control within the capacities of state governors. But state governors are not the only actors in this. And another thing to consider that this banditry in this part of Nigeria has been there for well more than 100 years. It's not something that is new, but the escalation, that has been the biggest problem that has gone beyond what local authorities can contend with. Even to some extent is giving serious headache to the military and the police. So I think it's very challenging, but certainly with the sensitization, cooperation of the people, we are seeing to see some progress, but certainly it has the capacity to completely destabilize the people, especially people living within the areas that is mostly affected. And through those areas, there are couriers of this problem, and they filter into areas that are not directly affected and also commit crimes that are similar to what the bandits are doing. And they know, again, a window for all sorts of criminals has opened. Some are using the banditry to commit their own criminality, and some are using it as a cover to run from authorities from other parts of the country, and for us, especially here in Katsina, and I believe also Sokoto, Kebbi, Zamfara, because we share a common border with Niger Republic. And the border communities are the same people, same religion, same language, same culture, everything. So you hardly differentiate. Only the locals can easily differentiate. This is on this part and this on this part. But on the whole, I think if we maintain the momentum as we are doing now, certainly will overcome, and our states and Nigeria will move forward.
Well, I was going to talk about how this has become a business, and to which you have hinted at that much for a lot of people. Banditry has been in existence for over 100 years, like you said.
Yes.
But now, suddenly, probably some persons are beginning to see that this is big business that we can come into. It's commerce for them now. So some people even say people should be, some of them will begin to think about being listed on the stock exchange. That's on the lighter side. But there's nothing light with banditry as far as this is concerned. So do you seriously consider this as a trade for some persons?
It's a business. Those who steal cattle and those who buy stolen properties is big business for them.
But as it's a business, the biggest payers for this business seems to be government, who pays the ransom, this big ransom.
No, I don't think we as a government we have never paid any ransom to start with.
You have never paid any ransom?
We have not paid.
How did you get the Kankara boys back home?
You see, this is a problem. We did not pay a single kobo to get Kankara boys.
Let's say, you may say that, you may accuse us of listening, pandering to probably maybe social media or that kind of thing. What happened? The sharing of money, all those 30, 80 million naira that they were talking about, how did they come about?
You see, I haven't heard about 80 million.
Yes.
I'm hearing it from you now. You see, what we did, first we say let us try non-kinetic because of the sheer size of the population of the young children in an open space. If you engage in gun battle, some innocent children may lose their lives or may suffer injuries. So we recruited local leadership under the leadership of the Fulani community. And we also source for people whom we know they have contact with the people in the forest. You know, we started this dialogue way back in 2016.
Yes.
So from there, some of them have really repented. So through them, we made contact. But then, it wasn't a huge business. It was not all they said, we need to mobilize them so that they start going, because it's a network. It's a network. So they went round meeting various community leaders within the Fulani that live in the forest and the local leadership that has contact with the herders that are inside the forest. So through that, we were in a hurry so that the situation should not develop like what we had in Chibok, and giving opportunity for now Boko Haram to infiltrate and make the problem worse. Because when they started subdividing the children, the problem became worse. But we know the infrastructure, the capacity of the bandit to hold over 300 young children in one place is a Herculean task, even to a government, not them. So when we engage them, it was easy. They made some complaints, but definitely nobody asked us for money. The only money that we paid to those who were fueling, running around, paying for SIM card, and recruiting also other bandits. You know, even in the banditry world at that time, there were two categories. There are those who were simply rustling cattle, are not involved in any kidnapping. If you can remember, by then, kidnapping or for ransom has not become huge business like it did later. So obviously, whoever told you that we have spent 80 million, we have spent this, we have not spent, we have not paid them single kobo.
Okay, Excellency, going forward now, in a landmark manner, you had orchestrated something that led to bandits laying down their arms. What suddenly happened? Did they collapse? And they went back there in an amnesty deal, rather, and they went back to their normal ways. Now, looking at that now, how ruthlessly would you rather that these same elements be treated?
No, you see, our own failed because Katsina State was the only state that thought. And what gave us this idea? What gave us the idea was, we said, okay, our linkage with this community in the forest is through their cultural, socio-cultural organization, the Miyata Allah. Luckily enough for us, they came for election of their officers. And Katsina, you can safely say 90% of us are either Fulanis, the four or sedentary Fulani. So we were lucky within the civil servants. There is a Fulani man whose family still live in the forest. But he was able to get Western education. He's an engineer. He was an assistant director in the local government service commission. So he was elected. And through him, we were able to make serious contact. At that time, because it is important you note this seriously, at that time, from our assessment, 90% of those who ran into the forest ran because volunteers, vigilantes were killing any Fulani man or woman. So for them, they ran for safety. So first I sent secretary to the government, director SS, then we had no brigade. It was the battalion commander, the commissioner of police, and some security personnel. They went inside the forest. They engaged them. And within 2-3 months, we were able to bring most of them out. And we formed a patrol team consisting of the military, the police, SS, repentant bandits, as we used to call them then, and vigilante, with vehicles, with monthly allowances. We enjoyed that peace for almost 2 years. But systematically, the bandits whose headquarters was and still is in Zamfara killed all the leaders, did not survive. So the children, some of them fled the state. Some of them joined the bandits. Few of them migrated to towns. Because the weight of unrepentant bandits in Zamfara, some in Niger, some in Kaduna, was unleashed on the repentant bandits, so they were disseminated completely.
Repentant bandits, yet we have so much of them still. Let's say we want to connect between Katsina and Zamfara state, Sokoto. The land travel is a nightmare. It's something a lot of people would rather not contemplate. And some other persons in my prior discussions, and I would say they blame it on the inadequacies of the security personnel to parade all of these routes in a manner that people, these criminals, the bandits, will not be able to operate as freely as they do. Traveling by road, it's a dreadful thing as far as the Northwest is concerned, and even within Katsina State. How close do you tie to the numerical strength
I
of
think
even
the
the
only
person?
part of Katsina State that you can see traveling poses a problem is if you are going to Benungwali from here, from Dandume, you said you went to Sabwa, and from Sabwa going to Benungwali. But this is the only area that you can say, for now, it's not safe. But all other areas in Katsina State, except our link, which we have closed, with Zamfara, through Jibia to Zamfara. But any other road is passable. What has been on, even before the advent of banditry, was armed robbery during night travel.
On the ratio of, say, percentage-wise, how many percentage of, would you say, of Katsina State that is that safe? Is 70, 30, 100? No, how safe? Road travel.
Road travel, I don't think the only road that we don't encourage people to follow, especially in the night. It's only in the night. But all other roads are roads that are being used on daily basis. Except in the night. We discourage people traveling in the night.
There's so much more to come back and talk when we return from this break. This has been Violence Free World. We'll be right back after this time out. Welcome back. This is Violence Free World, and I'm here with His Excellency, the Governor of Katsina State, Alhaji Aminu Bello Masari. Now, okay, there are several ungoverned places in Katsina State. There's high rate of unemployment. There's illiteracy. There's poverty. All of these factors contribute to exacerbate the insecurity that we have, not just in Katsina State, but in the Northwest and Nigeria, generally speaking. What are we doing to ensure that we turn all of these things to change the narrative, to make to reduce the negativity as far as these factors are concerned?
Well, go back to education. That is simplest.
And what have you done?
Massively invest in education. Because through education, especially when people are able to get the foundation education, they will be able to learn skill. Vocational centers.
Okay.
Skill acquisitions. Because the population is here. Since we have the population, so certainly demand and need are available. Instead of those needs being satisfied from outside, can be satisfied internally, but it can only be done through massive public education. The best way to get out of poverty is through massive public education. I think the neglect of education as a result of advent of oil was what created some of the problems that we are facing today. And again, our educational system also has to be localized to look at the local situation. Because over-centralization of some basic issues without addressing peculiarities is also part of our problem. Because looking at you, you have one wife, probably a maximum of 3 children. A person of your status age and status here in this part of Nigeria, not Katsina only, Northwest, Northeast, North Central, maybe the minimum he has 2 wives, maybe up to 8 children or more. So where you come from, the educational planning system should be different from the educational planning system where there is a high population explosion. And again, coupled with the climate change, it's another thing which people are not sufficiently educated to understand how to deal with it. Environmental impact of this climatic change. You need to go to the forest areas where it used to have permanent ponds, permanent streams are now dry. Grains have not improved to the extent that it takes care of the population. So there are many problems, but the foundation of these problems is education. If you address education on a massive scale, certainly maybe 10, 20 years, there will be a different scenario completely.
Your mind is made up and you're fixated on education and how to turn the narrative around using education. How have you prioritized this now, even with your budgets that you just passed on so on? What are you doing?
What we have tried to do is to make sure that education takes the more percentage in terms of what we earn. I think probably except this year, the budget has been taking over 20% education alone. And our emphasis now is even restoring our educational system. An average class here, an average class will have between 80 to 100.
In a classroom, you
Yes. In some places over.
With one teacher?
Yes. When we came, I went to inside Katsina, not outside Katsina. I went to a JS3 class. There are 158.
158?
Yes. Some are sitting on the windows. Some are only people from outside. That is the register of the class. When we went there, actually on head count, 138 were counted.
Did you have enough room to accommodate all of these 180? Which means it was been anticipated.
Me, when I entered, my back was on the wall. They have two teachers. Which one are you going to pay attention to? This is a common scenario. But certainly, within the 6 years, we have built thousands of classrooms and rehabilitated. You see, the problem, because of overpopulation, easily the classroom collapses.
Finally, Excellency, your word of advice to young people to which this program is about the more. Things have happened, answers has happened, the anniversary has come forth, and many of them are looking to people who have embraced or had embraced violence and now are made chiefs. They have become very rich, they're living much more comfortable, and they're feeling somehow that, are we maybe not doing the right thing too? What is your word of advice to them as far as violence and drugs is concerned?
The thinking is that even if all conditions are normal or ideal, which is impossible, we can't all of us be rich. We can't all of us be leaders. We can't all of us be pilots or engineers or doctors. What each and every one of us should have, means of livelihood. Opportunity is there for a willing and determined mind. When we spoke about ourselves, people would say, your time is not like this. Yes, but our time has its own challenges. Was there any time that has no challenge? But the sheer is, do not attempt to run when you cannot walk. When you see a 60-year-old going in Rolls Royce At 25, you do like this. You didn't know the road he followed to reach here. You didn't know. You didn't know. So forever, the time and mind, there is opportunity. Forever willing person, there is also opportunity. But if you are not willing, you are not determined, even if they take you to school 100 times, you come back empty. Age, especially youthful age, you use it today to build tomorrow. You don't use it today and say you will enjoy it today. No. You are young, you are energetic, your brain is working. Look at your environment and see what are the needs of my environment. What can I do to earn a kobo than to beg or wait for somebody to come out? It's better to be a street cleaner and earn a living than wait for somebody to come out and beg him. Or wait for one politician to come and say, hey, come all of you, come all of you. He drive you. He goes and while his children are at home or in school. His own children are either at home locked or in school. If it is good, his children should be the first. Look, I came from a village as an orphan. I had nobody but my Creator God. So if I look at my journey through life to where I am, then I look to everybody and say it is possible. If it was possible then, it is still possible today, and it will be possible tomorrow. For those who are willing, determined, hardworking, and obedient to those who are their leaders or parents or seniors.
Well, Excellency, I think that's a very good point to leave it. At this point, I must thank you very much for finding time to oblige me. It's even better that we're doing it in Katsina.
Thank you very much.
All right. Yeah. Well, I've been speaking with His Excellency, the Governor of Katsina State, Alhaji Aminu Bello Masari. Same time, next week promises more if you endeavor to be here. Please remember to remain on the road to a violence-free Nigeria. Thank you for watching. No.